hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right? I knew it! See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic, us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Aw, don't be like that. I never get to do this part. Please. Business? Well, Mr. Sanjar is gonna like the sound of that. Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor? I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in? I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable. Thanks a bunch! Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar.
We're not the best equipped, but scouting for rats keeps us on our toes.
You don't look like Sublight. Must be freelance.
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean, more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today? You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grimm wore her patience thin a long time ago.
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really. So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff, and some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell. Would you? I'd appreciate that so much. Maybe don't tell him I wanted you to ask. Just that you met this really nice lady named Celia, and she seemed... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
how can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna. Yes, that's it. Channel your anger. I only wish I could do the same.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Indeed. Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance. In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons. Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Smells like rat in here.
Oh, it does work.
Help! Someone's been killed! I think I'm gonna be sick. I clean the apartments while everyone's at work. I've seen all sorts of messes, but this... If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, sorry. Just spooked me, was all.
Body bag dispenser empty. Please replace sack reel before disposing of any corpses.
Watch your step if you venture outside the walls. Whatever you do, don't mention tossball to Isaac. You'll never hear the end of it. I haven't seen him in a while. If you guys... Oh, let's be thankful.
We don't get many outsiders.
Ooh, you're the new face. Wow, you must be up on all the latest tossball games. So who do you follow? Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. That's a shame. Tossball's just about the only good news we get around here, when our frequency's not. So, what can I do for you? Poor Isaac. I was wondering why. I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow. Right. So the thing with Isaac is he didn't know where to stop. He'd get stuck on something. Sometimes he'd drink Purpleberry Punch by the liter. Other times he'd keep betting on a losing team. I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies pushing Isaac around. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over tossball games. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble with one of them. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he gets fed up with the Fallbrook bullies, but there's not much he can do.
Wrapped musk and canid eyes, right here.
Sir, please, I need your help. I can pay.
Who the fuck are you? This ain't your alley.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is our secret alley. Berta already pissed by those crates to market. Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it coming. Not that anyone has proof. And not that it's any of your business. How? That was supposed to go out with the next batch of salt tuna. What are you suggesting, pal? Wow. Most of the pencil pushers around here cave as soon as you look at them funny. Fine, we're going. This ain't worth it.
Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptor... Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for... He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago.
Oh, law, Captain. A youngster won't last long in a place like this.
Please, won't you go and find... Well, I guess I can't ask you to leave the town. I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you every last one. Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of... And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy...
Who's the sweetest boy? Who is... Error. Unable to process the specific customer service request. Please repeat the order.
A fine day for business. Anyway, what can I do for you? But that's terrible. What happened? I'm glad to hear you've dealt with them. They've been causing quite a bit of trouble around town. I've been consumed with other matters of late, but I would have dealt with them eventually. Of course I would have. Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. Please consider this payment for your services. I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff? He's not the brightest of minds, but...
That's not what I would call it.
Still, I had him posted on the landing pad in hopes that he'd stay out of everyone's way.
Smells like those old Sundays when we'd unload sell tuna shipments at the cannery.
Deploying odor neutralizing aerosol spray now.
Here we go!
Mega magic! Cycle complete. It is clean, neat, and ready to kill drugs. Pollute and purify. is an organic. Blood pool protected. You make it through. Stand cleans it up. Corpse protected. Fans on the block. That will be the stage.
That's the last of them.
Racks for boots? Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. I'm stuck. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Mantiqueen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here and, now the door's locked. Little help? Rude? I'll have you know, I can go for whole days without... I'll be here if you change your mind. Oh, hey! You want to help a girl? Liar. This is Monarch. Oh, hey! You want to help a... Phew. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably they'll look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Sure. Probably. I don't know. When I try to read things, my mind gets to... My buddy locked me in here. I told you that. But, I mean, okay, yes, fine. Oh, neither was I. Who'd I... Huxley. I'm an iconoclast runner. The iconoclast runner. Fastest... I'm... Oh, that'd be my people. Graham and Zora and Milton and... Get me out of... What do you mean? Get me out!
Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and now I'm out here. And I'm headed back to Amber Heights. What? I ain't got nothing on me. How's about a heaping help? Can do. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Thanks a lot.
Counting. 126 messes. 127 messes. 128 messes. 129.
I wonder who used to live here. Do you suppose anyone remembers anymore?
Rising. Concentrated amount of scum present ahead.
You reckon the smell ever goes away?
Good day to you.
Whoa, by the stars, my poor heart. I just about pissed my jumpsuit. Most people don't. Besides, this place is enough to try anyone's nerves. Where should I begin? With the oversized mantisaurs? Or perhaps the rat spewing acid at our... The board was right. This place isn't fit for human habitation. Only every day. But in case you haven't noticed, we don't exact... And even if I did scrape together enough to buy passage out with sublight, which would mean reaching Fallbrook without getting eaten, shot, or dissolved into green goo, what then? Well, thank you for reminding me. As if I weren't already destined for an early grave. Sanjar, of course. He had all these glorious ideas about how he'd run Monarch. Rest periods between every work shift. No shift more than 10 hours long. It all sounds wonderful, until you realize there's only a few centimeters of repurposed steel between you and the deadliest creatures in the galaxy. I could do with a few kilometers of cold vacuum, but that spaceship is flown.
Reminder, unit modifications performed by unauthorized technicians.
A fine day for business, isn't it? Anyway. Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. But that's exactly what this is. The world isn't changed with guns and speeches, and the Bill of Liquidation/Transfer Form 52 is one of the most formidable pieces of data entry in all of...
It's true. One of the old execs gave herself a stroke trying to...
For our part, a Bill of Liquidation/Transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board. Sort of. Really, we're just going to blackmail them.
But really, whatever gets you excited about the idea, it's definitely a...
That's what I like to hear. I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is
Is it really illegal if the board's the one that makes the rules in the first place?
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our bolt. You really think so? I admit I've been hatching this scheme for quite some time. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. Oh, I am. But as much as I love your can-do attitude and dangerous gravitas, so it would be best if you could leave her. Once you, subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back proof of its operation. Maybe some nice letterhead. A foolproof plan if I ever heard one. I'll leave the execution. You weren't supposed to look. I asked you to... Oh, yes. No doubt someone... This has been my albatross. I give MSI everything. My... One of the executives... I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospect. Apparently not. Yeah, in charge of a scrap heap of a city. Abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hip... I hadn't thought of it that way. Thank you for that. Then it's good. What can I do?
Scanning for...
Whoops, hold on there, Sam. I think you got some schmutz on your chassis.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in Raptidon tongue? You look like a man who's looking... Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that... I hope it's working okay, because no one else... Wait, I see what's going on.
Oh, no, that's not it at all. She's smitten with you. You smited her. Smoked?
Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make it. You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice.
Give her a chance. Give yourself a chance. Take her someplace nice.
Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift...
That's the spirit, Sebastian. Be yourself. Between you and me, Captain, I'm not sure Miss Celia knows him too well, but we can hope.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia. I've secretly been waiting for this, or... Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon... look at me going on. I'm sure you got... Anyhow,